5 on Your Side at 10 starts now.
A wrong-way crash hitting the St. Louis music scene hard.
It's hard him not being around. He will be missed.
The beloved musician being remembered tonight.
Humid holiday. The 4th of July heats up, and by the end of the weekend, the rain chances creep up. We're timing out the changes heading our way.
Our top story, curbing downtown chaos on the 4th.
We are going into this weekend with a completely different strategy.
The new policing plan and a message to parents.
No need for them to be down here past 11 o'clock midnight.
Tonight, St. Louis police are hoping to avoid a repeat of last year's bedlam in the streets of downtown over the 4th of July weekend. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barcheski is live tonight with the warning for parents who could be held liable for your teen's actions on the streets of downtown.
Mike and Kelly, St. Louis police say a lot of these changes stem from all of the chaos that happened down here last year. And one of their main messages tonight is leave the guns at home and the fireworks to the pros. Matt Rotz, co-owner of Ucraft, remembers the call vividly when their new location downtown, set to open weeks later, was shot up on the 4th of July.
My brother, who's a partner of mine, was down here with his family watching the fireworks, and they got out quickly because they saw, the crowd that was down here, and it didn't look good. So they got out. Luckily, they got out about an hour and a half before it was shot up.
Last year, teens and others were downtown firing shots and shooting off fireworks, aiming them directly at buildings.
So the frustrating part was it didn't look like that there was a plan in place at that time at all, because it was worse last year than it was 2 years ago.
This year, SLMPD's Mitch McCoy says they've dedicated more officers to the holiday weekend.
Also utilizing our mobile cameras that feed into the real-time crime center. Our extra officers will consist of officers you see and officers that you don't see that will be working in a plainclothes capacity.
McCoy says also this year, kids and teens caught with fireworks will be detained by officers.
Downtown St. Louis is not a playground, and it is not a designated drop-off site for your children.
And now it's the parents who will have to pay for their child's actions.
The parent could face several citations, including contributing to the delinquency of a minor, discharging fireworks, and if you don't pick your child up within 45 minutes, you'll be cited for that.
Rotz says they started asking questions again when their windows were shot out 2 weeks ago.
They do have a plan in place this year. It looks like that they have closed Keener Plaza down. So, whether that's good or bad, I don't know. Hopefully, since it's closed down, that they will enforce that.
And he has some hope this year won't be like the last two.
Come down with families, have fun, and get back home and be peaceful.
St. Louis police say they want anyone who sees any suspicious activity to call 911. And in addition, they want you to be aware of where you're parking. Certain streets will be closed starting tonight, and you could be towed if you're parked there. Reporting live downtown, Laura Barcheski, 5 on Your Side.
The St. Louis heat and humidity is returning just in time for the long holiday weekend. Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's here with the forecast for the 4th, Scott.
Well, there's no big surprises here. It's going to be steamy as we head towards the 4th of July. It's not been too bad, that humidity, the last couple of days, but it's increasing as we head towards Friday into the weekend. And our storm chances over the weekend will tend to increase a bit as well. But for Friday, you're looking at hot, humid conditions and low to mid 90s. So what are you going to need on the 4th of July? Well, because we're talking about hot, humid conditions returning to the area, if you're going to be spending time at any of the parades around the area, perhaps spending time at Celebrate St. Louis with all the events happening downtown, and certainly during the evening hours for the fireworks. Hot, humid weather, it drains your energy. You need to stay hydrated. So you'll need water. If you're going to be out during the daytime hours, you will need that sunscreen as well, as we are talking about a pretty bright day. Tonight, we have some clouds rolling in from the north and west. That's from decaying showers that are dropping in from northeast Missouri. Tomorrow morning, that's all gone. We'll start with a mainly clear sky and in the low 70s out the door early tomorrow morning in St. Louis with a quick warm up on the way. We'll see you.
All right, Scott. Tonight, a St. Louis police officer is recovering, and a man wanted for several shootings is in jail following a police chase. Police say officers tried to pull the suspect over, but he took off. They finally caught up with him near Tucker and Cole Street after he got a flat tire and tried to run away on foot. The suspect was arrested. Police say they also seized a handgun. The injured officer was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Tonight we are learning more about an Imperial man killed in a head-on crash on I-55. Police say the wrong-way driver who smashed into Ralph Morse's car last Friday also died.
And new at 10, Robert Townsend tells us why the tragic loss has hit those in the St. Louis live music community extremely hard.
Friends say when it came to live music performances in St. Louis, Ralph Morse was the faithful fan everybody loved.
He'd start dancing on an empty dance floor and everyone would be up and dancing with him. Sean Cannon's Voodoo Players, we do a weekly residency at the Oyster Bar for 11 years and he's been there since the beginning.
Ralph often dressed up in his signature flashy costumes with special themes.
If we do Beatles, he'll be full Sgt. Pepper. If we do Yacht Rock, he'll be with his captain's hat and Hawaiian shirt. If we do Willie Nelson, he's got the Willie braids.
That's a picture of Ralph showing off his Willie Nelson impression.
You walk right in, dap you up, and then you just run to the front of the stage, check out the music, have the best energy and the best smile.
But now his friends and fans cannot believe when Ralph donned his Willie look at the Broadway Oyster Bar last Wednesday, that would be the last time they saw him. Police say around 7:30 Friday night, Morse traveled north on I-55 near Gasconade when 63-year-old Don Tampo of St. Louis traveled the wrong way and crashed head-on into his Corvette. Both drivers died at the scene. Friends say Ralph Morse was on this interstate driving into the city to see another show. Those who admired and loved him cannot believe he's gone.
Music was almost a religion to him. It was a way to feel good about the world.
9 years ago, 5 on Your Side interviewed Ralph. He was one of the hundreds there for the grand opening of the National Blues Museum downtown.
I'm the type of person that goes in the museum and reads every word on every placard, so I'll be here all day long.
A beloved music lover, a St. Louis joy.
Just magic.
Magic many are missing.
It's going to leave a big hole in everybody's heart.
Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
Morse retired after serving in the Air Force. Police are still investigating the crash. The ACLU of Missouri is now suing the state over a new ballot initiative to ban most abortions. The lawsuit filed against Missouri Secretary of State Denny Hoskins alleges the ballot language is intentionally misleading. State lawmakers approved putting a constitutional amendment on the November 2026 ballot. The new amendment would overturn Amendment 3, which was passed by voters last November. And if passed, it would impose a ban on most abortions with exceptions for rape and incest.
Tonight, St. Louis City's top prosecutor is urging parents to keep guns out of reach to prevent tragedy. 5 on Your Side's Justina Cornell sat down with Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore, who recognized a recurring theme.
The St. Louis pop-up exhibit called How Many Daughters, How Many Sons features 13 families, every single picture capturing the pain from gun violence in all forms.
It really works to personalize their stories, really bring the humanity into the gun violence crisis so that we can hopefully inspire change, really show the victim stories and make people see this on a real scale.
Each photo shows they're more than a statistic.
They are so concerned that their child is just a number or their child is forgotten and no one cares.
One man who cares, St. Louis Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore.
These tragic situations occur in a split second, and the kind of reoccurring theme is that parents or guardians who are watching children underestimate the ability of a child to get a gun.
Since taking over, he's seen too many unintentional shootings involving kids. St. Louis Children's Hospital and Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital data show the glaring problem.
So we've had over 1,000 instances in the last 5 years. So this is something that is very preventable.
Through prevention, Gore shares a reminder: secure the guns.
When you unintentionally or even without bad intent act in a way that endangers your child, that's something that you can be held accountable for criminally.
As Gore sends a message, this exhibit does too.
It really helps keep their memory alive and their legacy alive, and it also helps to hopefully prevent more parents from going through this, because hopefully people will see the human side of it and not just the numbers.
Justina Cornell, 5 on Your Side.
This exhibit on Chippewa Street will be on display until July 12th. A reminder for gun owners: there are multiple locations to pick up a free gun lock, including the Circuit Attorney's office downtown. For a full list, text the word LOCKS to 314-425-5355. Tonight, Webster Groves is getting an early start to July 4th celebrations. Right now, the first night of Community Days is still going strong.
The 4-day event features food, fun, entertainment, and of course, fireworks.
Obviously, carnival rides. We have fantastic food. We have beer. We have bands. We have a drone show on Saturday night. It's a great time to come out with the family.
There's also a kids' pet pageant tomorrow and a parade Friday morning. The fair runs through Saturday on the campus of Eden Seminary. There are several more community celebrations, parades, and fireworks displays taking place across the bi-state this week. Just text the word fireworks to 314-425-5355 and we'll send the full list to your phone.
Celebrate St. Louis kicks off tomorrow. And the 2-day event is taking place along the St. Louis riverfront right near the Arch. The gates open tomorrow at 4 p.m. And at 6:45, there will be a Veterans Award ceremony. Country singer Russell Dickerson will take the stage at 8:25. The night caps off with the fireworks at 9:40. And we will stream both nights of the fireworks spectacular on 5+. You can watch it for free on your Roku, Apple Fire, or Samsung TV.
A fireworks misfire leads to misfortune in Massachusetts. It was all caught on camera. Vanishing fireflies. Tonight, our Verify team uncovers a bug battle, making our summer nights a lot dimmer.
Just lightning bugs, no lightning from thunderstorms, at least not for the next few nights. The steamy start to the long holiday weekend, and when that thunder chance returns.
Tonight, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs remains behind bars just hours after he was acquitted on racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking charges.
Combs sunk to his knees hearing those verdicts. A New York jury did find him guilty on lesser charges, including transporting his ex Cassie Ventura to engage in prostitution.
Today's a great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system.
We're pleased that he's finally been held responsible for 2 federal crimes, something that he's never faced in his life. He still faces substantial jail time.
Just hours ago, the judge denied a request to release Combs on a $1 million bond. He will be held until his sentencing in October. Prosecutors say they will seek a 4 to 5 year prison sentence.
Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes.
That admission is bringing an abrupt end to a quadruple murder case that shook the nation. Brian Kohberger admitted to the brutal stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students today, although he didn't share why. Many of the victims' family members are upset by the plea deal that allows Kohberger to avoid the death penalty. They will have a chance to confront him when he's sentenced on July 23rd. That's fireworks misfiring at a country club on Cape Cod. Tonight, 3 people are being treated after the explosives were ignited next to a box truck. A fireworks display was planned for tonight. The Massachusetts State Fire Marshal is investigating.
During your childhood, it was likely one of the sights of summer, the glowing flicks of fireflies in the final hours of the day.
And for some, they barely see the bug anymore. So are fireflies going extinct? Tonight, Ann Allred verifies.
Fireflies. Their blinking is synonymous with summer nights. But one 5 on Your Side viewer says she hasn't seen any in her yard for years. She asked the Verify team, is it true fireflies are going extinct? Let's verify. Our sources, Chris Hartley, manager of collections at the Butterfly House, and Dan Zarlenga, Missouri Department of Conservation. Our experts explain there are thousands of species of fireflies in our world, and populations are declining. In 2024, the first firefly species in the United States was proposed for listing as a threatened species under the Endangered Species Act.
The factors that influence why people are seeing less fireflies have to do with the fact that they are, in general, losing habitat.
Hartley says that lost habitat is most noticeable in the suburbs due to insecticide use and well-manicured lawns.
They need an area where leaves cover the ground for several years at a time. The firefly larva lives under leaves for 2 or sometimes even 3 years.
Creating that safe haven is how we can help these pollinators make a comeback.
You dedicate a portion of the yard to always be covered by leaves.
Reducing insecticide use and artificial light also help. And while fireflies are facing challenges, Our experts say they are not facing extinction. We can verify false. While firefly populations are declining, they are not going extinct. I'm Ann Allred, 5 on your side.
What would you like us to verify? Send Ann an email. The address is verify@ksdk.com.
A new twist on Romeo and Juliet is about to take the stage at the St. Louis Zoo. The St. Louis Shakespeare Festival unveiled the stage for the productions of Romeo and Juliet. The set and seating are inspired by Shakespeare's Globe Theater. We also got a peek at rehearsals. The show is brought to life with life-size animal puppets, a first for the theater company.
A typical rehearsal period for us is 4 weeks, so that's what we had on this. And yeah, adding this layer of puppetry has been a whole new challenge for all of us.
Romeo and Juliet opens July 8th and runs through August 17th. Tickets are available on the zoo's website.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell rejoins us now with the weather impact forecast. And I guess we knew we would have heat and humidity on the 4th of July weekend. It's always the way in St. Louis. But the nice thing is, Scott, we're going to have clear skies.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be perfect for fireworks. You know, we're talking lighter winds here as we head into Friday night. The humidity levels are up. Temperatures are pretty, they're in the 90s. So it's a typical kind of 4th of July. But the rain chances look to be minimal across our region. And as a consequence, you can't ask for better weather for the 4th, really. I don't think we're going to get any rainouts or anything like that. Last year, it was a struggle to get some of those 4th of July. And then even though they were canceled, they were rescheduled, and then it would rain again. I don't think we're going to have that problem this weekend. The rain tonight, it was up in northern Missouri, but as it headed towards St. Louis, it faded, fell apart. We still have some of those clouds rolling overhead, but that's about it. Otherwise, the upper level ridge is going to build over us the next couple of days, and as it does so, our temperatures increase a little bit each day, and with winds turning to the south, we'll start to see the humidity increase a little more each day too. Lower 90s for highs tomorrow. Now, tomorrow evening, Celebrate St. Louis kicks things off. The gates open at 4 o'clock. Down there by the arch, and you've got music on stage starting at 4:30, 7 o'clock, and then about 8:25, a couple of big concerts, and then 9:40 the fireworks times. It's going to be on the sticky side, and it's going to be toasty tomorrow, but a few degrees warmer still on Friday. So Friday, it's an all-day kind of thing, and so as you plan your events on Friday, know that it's going to be sticky for all those early morning parades. Know that if you're out there by the grill, it's going to be hot when you're grilling in the afternoon hours. And if you're going to be outside at any of the events that are going on, you'll want to have your sunscreen along with you. Fireworks will be dry. It should be nearly perfect. But from 11 o'clock until 8 o'clock here on the 4th of July, that hot, humid weather's with us. Make sure you're staying hydrated during the daytime hours. If you're going to Riverfest in St. Charles, if you're going to be over at one of the parades in the Metro East, you definitely want to have that sunscreen on. Now, as we go into the weekend, we do have a chance. We'll see some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Most of that is west of us on Saturday. The chances do nudge closer to St. Louis on Sunday, and then all next week there's going to be a chance for showers and thunderstorms around the metro area. It's 81 degrees still in St. Louis, partly to mostly cloudy. We were up to 89 this afternoon for our high, but the morning low was 67. Tomorrow morning we're closer to 70 in most spots. During the day we get up to 93 degrees. We'll take it to 94 on Friday, 95 on Saturday, and then next week it looks like the potential for showers and thunderstorms will be around. Will it rain everywhere, every day? Absolutely not. Nor will it rain all day, every day. It's mainly afternoon and evening, scattered showers and thunderstorms, kind of hit and miss action next week.
All right, Scott, thanks.
Here's Corey with sports.
Well, Energizer Park played host to an electric Gold Cup semifinal. The Cardinals made some not so great history, and the Blues keep making moves. Sports is up after the break.
And you can now get more morning news on our 5+ streaming app. Join Michelle Lee, Paul Cook, and Gary Frank every morning from 7 to 9 for Today in St. Louis. Plus, watch for free on your Roku, Apple, Fire, or Samsung TV.
The Tonight Show.
The connection between U.S. soccer and St. Louis is a long and storied one. We just celebrated the 5 St. Louisans who helped the U.S. beat England in the 1950 World Cup. Tonight, another chapter in our town's history as America's soccer capital was written in the Gold Cup semifinals. Guatemala was the semifinal opponent for the U.S., and their fans showed up in force. Local product Tim Ream got another start in his hometown for the red, white, and blue as well. And the United States wasted no time. 4th minute, Diego Luna on the rebound. 1-0 USA right off the jump. 10 minutes later, watch Luna again because he's going to do it again. 2 goals from Diego Luna in the first 14 minutes. Now, Guatemala did score in the second half, but the U.S. stood tall. Hey, go figure, a guy named Freeze comes up clutch in St. Louis. This time, U.S. goalkeeper Matt Freeze with a big save in stoppage time. And when the final whistle blew, the U.S. had a 2-1 victory at Energizer Park and a ticket punch to the Gold Cup final against either Mexico or Honduras.
I think that is an amazing experience. I think these rosters deserve massive credit to get the right to the final, and now we need to prepare for the next game, that is the final.
Coming into today, the Pittsburgh Pirates had only thrown 3 shutouts in the series twice in their 144 seasons of existence. The last time they did it, 1976 against the Cardinals. Well, history repeated itself today in the Steel City. No Wilson Contreras today after another hit by pitch yesterday. Hopefully he's back soon. Sonny Gray was back on the hill for the first time since his near perfecto. Tommy Pham had his number. Base hit in the second made it 1-0 Buccos. The Cardinals just could not buy a run. Thought they had one here, but Isaiah Kiner-Falefa says, not so fast, Thomas Ajacey. 7th inning now. Pham gets to Gray again for another RBI single. 2 more runs would score and be charged to Gray. Pittsburgh would score a 5th for good measure. And for the 3rd game in a row, the Pirates shut out the Cardinals. It's the 5th time the Cards have been shut out in the last week. It's an off day tomorrow with a huge series at Wrigley looming this holiday weekend.
Obviously, the series is frustrating, but it's just one little blip on the radar of 162. So is it frustrating? Absolutely. But they just beat us.
So we'll flush this series. It happens. We swept the last one, got swept here. We'll flush this one, get some rest tomorrow, and get ready for Chicago. We're looking forward to that one.
Busy day for the Blues. First, they put veteran defenseman Nick Leddy on waivers. The 34-year-old has 64 points in parts of 4 seasons in St. Louis. He still has a year remaining on his contract. The note also made an addition. Welcome to town, Pius Suter. The center signed a 2-year deal with St. Louis worth about $4 million a year. The Swiss 29-year-old had a breakout season in Vancouver last year, scoring a career-high 25 goals for the Canucks.
Weatherholt swings, grounds one right side, past the diving Johnson, into right field. Yeager comes to the plate. He scores standing up, and JJ's done it again.
Well, if you live in Springfield, Missouri, you've seen some great baseball this season. The Cardinals AA club is loaded with a number of exciting prospects. Chief among them is J.J. Weatherholt. A first-round pick a year ago, Weatherholt has been cruising in Springfield, including that walk-off last night. He's hitting .303 with 5 homers, 28 ribbies, and 13 stolen bases. He's also going to be the Cards' representative in this year's All-Star Futures game. I was down in Springfield yesterday interviewing Weatherholt for Sports Plus and asked about that Futures game honor.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Definitely something I was, hoping to be a part of, and kind of when that news came out, I was just very excited. It's a blessing just to be able to represent this organization and just be involved in a game that has produced so many great players and all the great players that are going to be there this year.
That'll do it for sports.
All right, Corey, thanks.
Well, Great Scott, Back to the Future is turning 40, the time hop in St. Louis that inspired the classic trilogy. Tomorrow marks 40 years since Marty McFly hopped into Doc Brown's DeLorean and went back to the future. St. Louis native Bob Gale co-wrote and co-produced all 3 movies of the popular trilogy. Last year, he told 5 on Your Side his childhood in University City during the 1950s served as an inspiration. He said, lightning struck while looking through his father's old yearbooks, and wondered if they would have been friends if they went to high school together. And Marty's neighborhood, Lion Estates, is named after the lion statues on Del Mar.
Well, the latest episode of my podcast, And There You Have It, dropped tonight on our 5+ streaming app. This week, I sit down with former St. Louis radio personality and KSDK entertainment reporter J.C. Corcoran. We talked about his many radio jobs and our time together on his popular and long-running morning radio show, The Breakfast Club.
When you think of some of your favorite bits,
obviously, the one that
had nothing to do with breaking into your house in the middle of the night.
So tell that story, because it was my birthday, and unbeknownst to me, there was a radio show going on in my house. You can stream the episode on demand on 5+. You can watch for free on your Roku, Apple, Fire, and Samsung TV.
I know there were a lot of stories.
There are a lot of stories. He's very interesting. I think you'll enjoy the podcast. Scott has one final check of the weather.
All right, we're heating up just a little bit going into this weekend. Back into the 90s for highs. Humidity's coming up. Rain chances, though, overall pretty low for most of the weekend. By Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, we certainly can't rule out some thunderstorms. But most of the weekend is dry. You just need to stay hydrated.
And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis. That starts at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.